Why hello my delicious children. Welcome back to another episode of Cisco's private collection. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you enjoy watching our content, show us some love by liking the video and ring the bell to make sure you get notified whenever we drop new content. We appreciate you all. Like many airsofters out there, your favorite condiment is most likely mayonnaise. And today, I'm going to give you a taste of my homemade mayonnaise. Now, this is only one of several M4s in my private collection. And you may be wondering, Cisco, how private is your collection? And trust me, it's private. Now, I know I promised you guys a DMR last episode, but unfortunately it is out of commission right now. I didn't want to show you guys a broken gun, so I'm still trying to make it up to you guys by showing you an outdoor gun. This is an SPR inspired by John Wick 2, the M4 that he used in the catacombs. Lately inspired because I couldn't tear and tactical the gun, because yeah, I just can't. I don't make enough money. Maybe if you give me more views, then we can talk. The base model of this gun is going to be an Echo 1 Platinum in Stealth Gray. Now, if you don't know about the Echo 1 Platinum, the OEM is going to be VFC. And as I've said before in many videos, VFC does make great internals and externals. And what really drew me to this model was the finish on the receiver. It has a bluish gray finish on the receiver that is very classy in my opinion, very gentlemanlike. It's very different from a standard like matte gray or black finish that makes me feel like you need to wear a blazer and a tie to don this gun. But you know, I'm in a gray shirt and board shorts, so I can't hold this gun. Ooh, spicy. Just like the flannel daddy himself, I'm going to be starting from tip to butt on my gun. So starting off with the flash hider, I do have a Madbull Ferfrans flash hider with blast shield. Now, this is a very unique system that you've already seen on my 416. I just really like the way that the flash hider looks with the blast shield on there. It's very unique looking, very different, and it does sound very aggressive on the field. To the right of the gun, I have a Bravo Scout Light in gray. It has a great throw, great battery life, and great beam. It's not the brightest flashlight, but it gets the job done. At the bottom of the rail system, I do have the Lancer Tactical Tango Down style short grip. Now, I do use this more of a hand stop than a vertical grip. That's just my preferred grip choice, but I do like to have options. A gentleman will give you options. And holding all of these accessories together is a Madbull VTAC rail. Now, this isn't an M-LOK rail system like the John Wick gun, but I do believe it is like a fine wine. It has withstood the test of time, and no one's gonna call you out on the field for having an older rail system. Moving on to the optics of this gun, I do have a 1.1 to 4 times magnification NC Star shooter scope on a King Arms quick detach mount. This is one of NC Star's more affordable short dot style optics. It does have a red and blue illumination on the mil dot style reticle, which is very nice. It doesn't have as great of a side picture as the Evolution series, but it gets the job done. And right in front of that, underneath, is going to be an AIM Sports mini red dot that is on a Lancer Tactical 45-degree offset. And the reason for that is just for looks. And as the flannel daddy says, if you don't look good, what's the point?
What really matters is just looking cool.
And to protect my scope, I do have a Speed brand lens protector. Now, as you can see, this is very thick and has withstood hundreds of rounds, and it is a little bit more expensive, but it's well worth every penny. Now, moving on to the back, this gun has gone through a plethora of stocks, but I ended up with the PTS EPS stock just because it is my favorite. It's the most comfortable and has the most battery space out of all the stocks that I've used. Internally, this gun has been a nightmare to work on, but I've gotten it all worked out, and let me go over the internal build. Starting off with the gearbox, we do have a System Supercore piston with a Lonex cylinder head and Lonex air nozzle. I left the cylinder, the OEM BFC cylinder, because it was the correct port that I needed. And I do have an SP130 spring to get the right FPS that I need. I'm using SHS 13-to-1 gears that are short stroke 5 teeth. And that was to increase the trigger response, which was the main goal out of this gun. I do have a Gate Titan Advanced MOSFET in here, and paired with that is going to be the Classic Army 31K motor. Originally I had an Action Army 45K motor, but it did burn out because of the active braking. So the Classic Army motor does have better magnets in there to prevent burning it out. For my barrel setup, I do have a Prometheus 6.03 inner barrel. That is our hop with the original VFC rotary style hop up unit. And that is a 363mm inner barrel, which is carbine length. And the reason I did that was so I can have a long enough distance when shooting the gun, but keep the gun more compact so I can still maneuver indoors. This gun is shooting about 410 feet per second with a 0.2 gram BB, and it's shooting about 33 BBs a second. So if I shoot you, please call it. Because if you don't, I might make you call it. Now the reason I built this gun is because I already own a Block 2, and I wanted something a little bit more smoother, a little bit less harsh than the sharp edges of the Block 2. And I think I have achieved that with this gun. I do believe this is something John Wick would run himself. And on the field, I don't want to be sweaty chasing down my enemies in my suit. I'd rather shoot them from a very comfortable distance with this gun. Now I acquired this gun around 2016, right after I saw John Wick 2, and I built this gun out immediately. And then about 2017, the MOSFET and the motor burnt out, and I had contacted Gate, and they had helped me out. Their customer service is fantastic, and they sent me a new MOSFET. But unfortunately, I was very busy and I wasn't able to get to the gun, so it sat on a shelf until about late 2018 when I finally had time. I was able to install the MOSFET and the new motor, and here it is in its classy form. Well, my relationship with M4s is I build them out until I get tired of them, and then I build another one, and that becomes the new primary. And then I get tired of it, and then I build another M4, and that becomes a primary. But with this gun, I do have it very well built out, and I bring this as a backup to my primary at the time, just in case if that primary goes down, I do have a very well built gun that'll perform very well as a secondary. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of CISCO'S private collection. If you want to see more of my private collection, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We upload every Wednesdays and Fridays. And I'll see you guys later in my private collection. Bottle of BBs, $15. Vism gun bag, $20. GI Custom, $600. Dead rag. Well, technically they're free, but $0. Shooting your friends without getting arrested? Priceless. There are some things money just can't buy. But for everything else Airsoft, there's Wombo Combo.